just past 7 p.m. on a Tuesday when the accident happened. Emily was 12. She was in the back seat on her way home from a friend's house when a truck ran a red light and slammed into the side of her mom's car. The car spun twice before it stopped. Emily doesn't remember most of it, just the sound, and then nothing for a while. She woke up 3 days later in a hospital bed, both legs in casts, a fractured collarbone, and so many wires attached to her that she thought for a second she was some kind of machine. The doctors said she was lucky to be alive. They also said the recovery would take months, maybe longer before she walked normally again. For a 12-year-old, months might as well be forever. Here's the thing about Emily, though. Before the accident, before any of this, she was obsessed with Michael Jackson. Not in the casual way kids like a song for a few weeks. She knew every lyric to Thriller. She taught herself the moonwalk in her living room over and over until she could almost get it right. So when she was lying in that hospital bed, unable to walk, unable to do much of anything, her mom started playing his albums on a little radio next to the bed, just to give her something other than the pain to focus on. And it worked, sort of. Emily would close her eyes and mouth the words. For a few minutes at a time, she wasn't in a hospital room. She was just a kid who loved music. But weeks went by, and the recovery wasn't moving the way the doctors hoped. Emily got quieter. She stopped asking when she'd get to go home. Her mom noticed, so her mom did something Emily didn't know about. She sat down one night in the hospital cafeteria and wrote a letter. Not to Michael Jackson. She knew that was impossible. She wrote to the local radio station instead, the one that played a dedication segment every evening, where people could request a song for someone they loved. In the letter, she explained everything: the accident, the casts, the fact that her daughter had spent every night for 3 weeks listening to the same songs, trying to hold on to something normal. She asked if they'd play just one song for Emily. She never expected anyone to actually read it on air. Letters like that came in all the time, but a few nights later, almost at random, the DJ pulled it out of the stack and started reading it live. He didn't rush through it the way he usually did with requests. He read the whole thing slowly, and by the end of it, he wasn't talking like a radio host anymore. He just said quietly, "I hope you're listening, Emily. This one's for you." Then he played the song. Nobody in that hospital room knew it yet, but somewhere else in the city, somebody else was listening too. Somebody on Jackson's team had the station on in the background, and when they heard the letter, they didn't just let it pass like background noise. They mentioned it to him. 3 days later, Emily was lying in bed, half asleep, when her mom's voice cracked oddly as she said, "Em, someone's here to see you." Emily turned her head, expecting a nurse. It was Michael Jackson, standing in the doorway of her hospital room. She didn't say anything for almost 10 seconds. She just stared, certain she was dreaming, certain the pain medication was finally making her see things. He walked over, sat on the edge of her bed, and said, "I heard you've been having a rough few weeks." Emily started crying before she could even answer him. He stayed for almost an hour. He signed the cast on her leg. He hummed a few bars of Thriller with her, off-pitch just to make her laugh. And before he left, he told her something her mom would remember word for the rest of her life. He said, "The fact that you're still here, still fighting, that's the only thing that matters. The rest, we can work on." Emily walked out of that hospital 4 months later, slower than before, with a limp that never fully went away. But every single year on the anniversary of the accident, she still plays that same song, the one the DJ read her mother's letter before.